Francis Ngannou has the world record for the most powerful punch. His punch is the equivalent to 96 horsepower, which is equal to getting hit by a Ford Escort going as fast as it can. And it's more powerful than a 12-pound sledgehammer swung full force from overhead.
Whether you're a UFC fan or just watch this game for fun, there's no doubt that y'all are awaiting the big game between Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury. This match will take the world by storm, and since it's a match of the baddest dudes, punters are throwing their weight around these two. Francis and Tyson are no babies in this game. I know you understand what that means, but what choice do we have? One of these men is dubbed the greatest of all time, who can even take down an elephant with his punch. I'm talking about Francis. This homie holds the record as the martial artist with the most powerful punch. Well, I'm stunned. The thing is, his punch hits harder than a Ford Escort at full speed. That's why the pros are saying that Tyson cannot survive Francis's body punch. Let's take a deep dive into this headline. It took years of pain and battles before the lion was crowned king of the jungle. If a fighter must be called a fighter, he must have proven himself time and time again to the world. Doing this is what brings about confidence among watchers and fans around the world. I don't know if I should be saying this. Francis has proven himself on several occasions that his punch is no child's play. Francis has no rival regarding fighters with the most significant punch that can easily dismantle an opponent's guard. You may wonder how WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury would fall under Francis's punch at this juncture. I get your point. But pros have different opinions on this game. Competitively, these duo would feint and show some footwork, and only one would emerge winner on October 28th in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Guys, nothing's going to change about this match. It will be a boxing match, and it will be in a boxing ring. Importantly, it will follow standard boxing rules that we all know. I'm saying this so you understand we're traveling to Mars for the match. No. As expected, fans are already doing what they do best by taking things personally about the fighter of their choice. On this, we've seen many predictions which depict that the heights attained by combat sports are constantly evolving. About this match, Tyson said, "I can't wait to get back out there under the lights." He continued, "I'm looking forward to showing the world that the Gypsy King is the greatest fighter of his generation in an epic battle with another master of his craft." This statement strongly indicates that Tyson is not taking Francis for granted. Though I'm here to tell you some pros and speculations on Francis's flawless victory against Tyson, there's something else. We cannot wholly relegate Tyson to the back door. Tyson presents a lot of challenges for his opponent in a boxing ring. Not surprisingly, he's a fighter at 6 to 9 inches with an 85-inch reach. He could choose to stay behind a jab and use his long arms to make it impossible for opponents to get close to him. I'm referring to a situation where Tyson's damaging blows can land impactful power shots in multiple combinations. Let me tell you this. It's not only about his reach. Tyson is a fighter, but you might disagree. Chill, I got evidence. In size to the core, he lashed forward, battering Wilder into quick submission. We were all looking at an alien showcasing his combat abilities. That leads to the question, what if Francis infuriates Tyson, and the battle becomes a war of all against all? This should be what fans are paying to see, but it could lead to one of those never-before-seen moments in combat sports. I already told you that Tyson is mentally and physically prepared for this battle, right? Guys, Francis is not slacking off too. When pros analyze his boxing brutality, it is said that Francis's boxing skill is not easy to break down. That's because MMA is a different playground for notable fighters. However, you need to hear this. Francis is a crazy traditional right-handed stance fighter. If you're his fan, listen. This guy can use his left hand to unleash hell. Yeah, that's correct. His left is usually reserved for last-minute uppercuts. And just when his foes think they're at an advantage, Francis can effortlessly switch stances and send punches in different directions. You can see that Francis is such an unpredictable guy in the ring. Exactly. That's one of the points pros are trying to send to Tyson. Someone said Tyson should be prepared to fight the aggressive Francis, who closes distance well while staying busy with punches. Still, the reality is inarguable. And that's why I'm asserting that this match will be a bad note. Francis said he would bring in his best. He even called Tyson the baddest mother effer on the planet. And Tyson wasted no time to return the favor and echoed, "We're not talking two light guys, 140 pounds. I'm 270, he's 270. It's going to be an explosive fight when it happens." Damn it, ask trainers and fans. They will tell you that the odds aren't against anyone in this battle for survival. Francis will have to bring in his A game. He will need to land his best punch, especially his uppercuts I earlier told y'all about. This uppercut KO remains a lethal and record-breaking streak that remains a mystery for Francis's foes. Since his match against Alistair Overeem at UFC 218, Francis's body punch has remained the stuff of legend even 6 years later. When you need someone to discuss this epic punch, ask Dana White, that undisputable UFC president. White once said, "His punches are equivalent to 96 horsepower, as it can, and it's more powerful than a 12-pound sledgehammer from full force overhead." Holy 96 what? That's breathtaking. And if I'm Tyson, I just drop my gloves and run. But listen, I'm about to tell y'all why pros are doffing their hats for Francis. This guy is a physical phenomenon. At nearly 260 pounds, Francis possesses a mighty muscular frame that is only compared with the best men in WWE or the NFL. This year, Francis's record stands at 17-3. Of these 20 matches, Francis won 12 via KO, 4 through submission, and the rest from decision. So Francis has never lost any match via finish. All his losses were through unanimous decision. Looking back, I wasn't surprised that he retained the UFC belt for 2 years. When you think of Tyson's achievement on this stage, you'll get a little scared for Francis. But I can't stop imagining Predator would do everything he can to make the most of his boxing debut. Will Tyson play it safe because of his fight against Usyk later this year? I doubt that. Tyson will go through this match clear-headed without leaving anything to chance. As much as I hate to say this, despite how deadly Tyson is, Francis's coach is at the forefront, praising the former UFC champion. Francis's coach, Eric Nixick, is one of those people who acknowledged how deadly Francis is. He said being hit by Francis's punch is more painful than being struck with a baseball bat. At this point, I give it to him. Furthermore, the coach described Francis's power as ungodly and included that he felt sorry for his opponents. Nixick said on MMA Hour, "I've been hit in the back with a baseball bat before, and literally the bat, it broke. It was a wooden bat, it broke across my back, and it didn't bother me one bit." On a lighter note, I've not heard or seen Tyson struggle with his conditioning. Francis would have to be wary of Tyson's ability to stay solid while sending his mates into confusion in the ring. So, what condition do you feel can make a predator become prey? That should be when the predator becomes weak or unfamiliar with the battlefield. Critically, this analogy could be against any of these fighters. One way is Francis is not familiar with ring wars, but Tyson is a specialist who has spent his entire life here. I'm not trying to say Francis would suffer since there's no cage he would lean on during the fight, but things could get very nasty after 5 rounds. Notwithstanding, just as I told you earlier, Francis's power is enough to keep him through the match. Can Tyson handle himself against big punchers like Francis? Or will he fall under the spell of his punch? We may only get the appropriate answer in the coming days when we'll witness it firsthand in Saudi Arabia. Guys, since we've all decided not to miss this combat, you should watch out for Francis. Pundits believe that Francis was somehow similar to Deontay Wilder, and that's solely because of his unrefined technique that carried him through the caves of UFC. Technically, we'll talk shortly after the opening bell and see the writing on the wall. But when we consider Francis's layoff, this fight will turn increasingly one-sided the longer it lasts. If what his coach and pundits said is something to go with, then Francis should have Tyson gasping for air and panting. In addition, something tells me that Francis will struggle to get this done. I know I'm not alone on this, though. However, I can almost picture Francis full of confidence, sustaining minor bruises on his chin. That won't kill Francis because I can see him ending the match by stretching Tyson to his breakpoint and taking him down in the 4th round. I know this seems like a wild imagination, but hey, Francis got this. Even Cristiano Ronaldo gifted him a watch worth £87,000 to show he's rooting for him on this victorious debut. But we've got to see how this plays out. That's all we'll talk about today. Make sure to like this video, comment, and share. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you next time. Until then, stay warm.